a lovely sunny morning this morning, and it's the 1st of February 2021. Still in lockdown, unable to go to East Kirkby, but luckily good old Brad sent us some more video on the servicing and the inspection of the Merlin engines. He's also added a little bit, the last clip he added was to do with the Mosquito. I've added a piece of video on the end of that, which is appropriate, about the Mosquito. This is Tony Agar's Mosquito. The Rivet Club has sent an email, and it shows that the Rivet Club raised £61,000, which will go to the restoration of the Lancaster. So that's good. So this is Brad's video.
Hello again, Nev. I'm on number 3 engine now, doing the same inlet manifold flame trap job as we were doing on number 2, and just come back to the reassembly. So here, this is on the head, a thin layer of well seal, and then there's an aluminium gasket that goes on there, and then the inlet manifold goes on. Again, all with a very thin smear of well seal. So let's do that. This is a coolant from number 3 engine, Nev. So I've already done the pH test, which is what this bit of litmus paper is, and that's a pH of 9, I think. Get the book out. So around 9 or 10. So that's right. This here's the hydrometer, and what this does is measure the specific gravity of the liquid by floating higher or lower. And if we go over to, it's about 1.5, 1.51, something like that. If we go across to the manual here, this is the specific gravity chart for your mix of glycol, and we're absolutely spot on 30% glycol in this. So there's nothing wrong with that. We'll put that back in the aircraft and carry out the rest of the test. Hello Nev, we're on number 3 engine again, and we're about to do this test. So what you'll see on this gauge, when we put the air into the system, between 8 and 12 psi, this valve here should start relieving, and so you can see it, to put a glove on it, so that should start inflating. Test carried out safe. Good done there.
Press right again.
Pressurise the coolant system now to 30 psi with this blanking bung on the top of the blow-off valve. And what we do now is just wait for 10 minutes, make sure that the pressure hasn't dissipated anywhere. If it has, remove all the pressure out of the system and look around for any leaks. If it hasn't dissipated, then the system is considered serviceable, and we take the adapter out, take the blanking bung off, and sign it up as serviceable. Here's an interesting one for you, Nev. This is an engine holding down bolt from the aeroplane. You'll notice that it's threaded on this end for the nut, but also this end is a nut and the end is pinned over. Why? Well, I'm told by the man that knows that during the war this was cheaper and provided less wasted material than making a special bolt. So there we are, you learn something new every day. A little bit more detail to add to the video we did last week or the week before of the cross shaft here. This is the CSU one. It runs inside to here to another identical bearing, which is then connected to the controls in the cockpit. So there's your CSU one and your throttle one. So what we're going to do is clean these races out, re-oil them with a very light oil, and then put the cover back on. We've also received back Tony Agar's repaired blocks. You may remember we had some trouble with these last year, so they went to Morris Hammond. So this is what the top end looks like without the CRM mechanism on, and just there you can see the repair that Morris has done, which is the official Rolls-Royce repair, which is to machine out a portion of the head, fit an insert in which is locked off with a grub screw, and then put the stud back in. So there we go. And they'll be getting fitted fairly soon to the Mosquito.
The next piece of video I took in August 2020, and it shows the studs which had stripped the threads inside the housing of the head. I know. Is it a major overhaul now? You were, you were changing one block, weren't you?
We changed one, we changed that one,
yeah.
And we're putting it all back together, and this one did the same thing, so we've now got to change this block.
Oh. Have you completed the other side then?
Yeah, we put the block on the other side.
Yeah.
The cam's in. We need to time it, but we're going to tie them both together. But
yeah.
What was happening was, Neville, Brad was doing this side yesterday and went to put the cam on and noticed when he was starting to tighten the nuts up, one of them didn't feel right. So took the cam back off. The DP came and inspected it, put the special tool onto the stud in question and checked it, and it went about 3/4 of a turn and then locked. So I thought, okay, let's give it a go. Brad put the cam back on and was tightening the nut down to torque, and it just didn't feel right. So it's just been made right. Okay, gonna have to do the same with that. So the rest you know.
Yeah. To which you've just come off this one.
Yeah. Don't ask me which one's which.
So those are the two studs.
I think it was.
He said it was at the drive end when I asked him.
Yeah, it's another one on this one. It's a different one on this. It might be the other one. There you go. That was the problem. So that's the camshaft pedestal bolts.
Yeah.
Well, studs and nuts. So
yeah, they're both loose.
They just pull out. Look,
Oh, they're just. Are they just knurled at the end? Are they?
No, that's the thread that's stripped.
Oh, that's the thread.
That's what's pulled out. Look.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see it peeling off there. Look.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's just pulled out. Yeah. So somebody's over torqued it.
So
Probably.
that is over damage. Has that damaged the? Oh, it has. It stripped the threads on the inside of the book.
That was the thread.
Yeah.
There. That's out of there. That should be in there. So yeah, that was the same. So they've over torqued it basically. So somebody hasn't had the manual when they rebuilt it and just tightened them up. And I can't remember which one's gone on that one, mounted on there.
Yeah.
Okay, Ned, what's question?
Right. When you changed the block on the Mosquito,
Yes.
why didn't you just change the head? Because that's where all the trouble was.
No. They are built.
You have to take the block off to change the head anyway.
Yes. There is a special procedure to remove the cylinder head from the liner part of the block.
Oh, is there? Yeah.
Yes, you need special tools and special procedures. If you just take it off without, it doesn't do it a lot of good. And this has happened in the past quite a few times.
Yeah.
Not here,
Yeah.
but it has happened to unknowing people who've attempted and have indeed removed the cylinder head from the liners without the aid of special tools by prizing it apart, and then it's resulted in damage. Okay, because there's a load of seals, 20 odd or whatever it is. There's an awful lot of seals because there isn't a head gasket.
Oh, isn't there?
No.
Oh, I was going to say.
There is no head gasket. It's all seals.
Yeah, I thought perhaps you'd have to change your head gasket every time.
There is no head gasket as such, no. And that's why it's a specialist job. You need the right tools and you need to do it to the book.
Yeah.
If you don't, there's a very high probability of failure.
Yeah.
And the damage can be anything from just leaks up to something quite severe, like damage to the head gasket itself or the liners aren't seated properly, etc., etc. It's a complex process that requires the procedure to be followed correctly using the right tools. You even have to heat and freeze the block and do all sorts of clever things like that. It's not like changing a head gasket on a Mini.
No.
Okay,
No.
which a lot of people can do in their sleep. I certainly can. But it is, that's why the whole assembly comes off together.